And now, Giant Sports Talk Live. Here are your hosts, Eric and Glenn.
We're talking Giants every day. From McCovey Cove to the Oracle Park lights, Eric and Glenn keep the fire burning bright, fighting for the glory, no matter what it costs us, breaking down the moments from the wins to the losses. Giant Sports Talk, we're here for the ride. Eric and Glenn with the fan base pride, talking dreams, will they contend? But we'll back the Giants till the very end. Let's go, Giants! Yes, yes, yes!
Here's the number one hit.
There you go.
Eric and Glenn breaking it down, all Giants all the time.
Oh, yeah, that's got to hit number one.
Got it, right? All right, welcome to Giant Sports Talk Live here on this Tuesday evening, March 4th, 2025. Again, welcome everybody. Hope you guys had a great Tuesday. Beautiful day here in the Central Valley of California. Can't complain. Yeah, ready to talk some more Giants baseball. What's up, Glenn? How was your day?
Hey, not too bad, my friend. The circus rolled through town. It's all gone. I'm just relaxed. I'm ready to talk about I'm ready to talk. It's almost like the media. They follow our show because it becomes a topic of conversation, doesn't it? Let's talk. Let's continue our talk on Patrick Bailey, shall we? That they've seemed to picked up on it and run with it.
Gotcha. No, it's not so much about Bailey as it's much about what he has to say about these three young pitchers who are going to be vying for that fifth spot. We've already had our discussions about what we think of, maybe it should be the last two spots, but hey, it is what it is. What's up, Mario? Thank you, sir. Appreciate that.
Well, he's pretty young to be coming in with all these, what I'll call
he's catching the staff. So he caught the staff last year. He caught all the pitchers last year. He's going to catch them again this year. So let's hear what he has to say. I mean, right? He's a catcher. Right. He's going to have his takes on what he thinks about these guys.
Well, you know how I feel. Good catchers, no Johnny Bench.
I hear. And look, I'm not going down that road. I just want to hear what he has to say.
Oh, you don't have to go down that road. I'll go down that road. But let's get into the article right off the top of the show, Eric.
All right, here we go. How Bailey sees Giants young starters taking the next step again. Pavlovic, guys. Yeah, he put this out earlier. As a matter of fact, it was yesterday. I didn't hit it yesterday because I was getting into what Susan Slusser had to say. And Glenn, a little bit later, if you want to talk about what she had to say about the pursuance of Corbin Burns in the offseason.
Ooh,
yeah, it was a little weird.
This must be a short article. They're talking about the Giants' young starters. What is it? 3 paragraphs?
It's a few.
Okay, because we don't exactly have the youngest pitching staff in baseball, Eric.
Exactly, and remember, they're only vying for one spot, right? That's.
I think it's Kyle Harrison's to lose, but I haven't read the article. Let's see what the shift is here.
So I'm not going to even get into these guys yet. Let's just get into the 3 pitchers that he's talking about. Kyle Harrison. Here we go. The lefty had a 4.5 and a 4.3 FIP as a rookie. But the numbers were much better before he hurt his ankle. Lacking rotation depth, the Giants rushed Harrison back without a rehab assignment, and his ERA was 3.9 before the injury and 5.5 after. And it wasn't hard to figure out what had changed. Harrison pitches primarily off his four-seamer, but compensating for that ankle discomfort led to shoulder inflammation. That happens. We've talked about this on the show. You get a weird injury in somewhere other than your throwing arm, you still could mess with your motion, so to speak, and then you could wind up getting an injury with your pitching arm. And it looks like that's what happened with Harrison last year. All right, now fully healthy. He'll again lean heavily on his fastball. Okay, that's his best pitch. Here we go. These are quotes from Bailey. That's his best pitch. And when it's on, I would say one of the better pitchers in the game. One of the better pitches in the game, I should say.
Mhm.
I think it's hard as a young guy to kind of have to make those adjustments in the big leagues. Right. It's not easy. You get to the big leagues. Look, the league will figure you out, and you will figure you out, and you got to figure out a way to figure them out. You just don't go out there, man. There's an art to it, right? And what he did last year kind of speaks to his skill to be able to maybe be a little bit lighter velocity, but still go out and keep us in every game that he threw last year. Okay, here we go. Well, hold on. Before we get into that, let's finish. Harrison learned a lot from his first full season, and like Bailey, the staff believes he showed that he can compete without his best stuff. I don't know about that. If he didn't have his best stuff, he was getting hammered, so not so much. Anyways, he'll need that fastball to return to form. It's a huge difference, especially for guys pitching off their fastball. Velocity is king, Bailey said. You're able to be not as perfect, not as fine with your pitches, and you're able to throw more strikes. Again, that was Kyle Harrison.
Well, if he's talking about that, Eric, he's talking about velocity.
Velocity, yes.
Well, shouldn't you have a little command if you're going to be throwing strikes?
And there you go. And then I think that's what Bailey is trying to say there, right? Yes, he has the velocity, but he was trying to say, what was it? He goes, but maybe a little bit lighter velo, but still go out there and keep us in every game that he threw last year, right?
Yeah. So it's got to be one or the other. If he's got to throw more strikes, maybe he's got to take a little bit off and become a little more of a pitcher, a little finite.
Exactly, absolutely.
Yeah.
Again, he has to learn how to pitch. You just go out there and throw. And the thing is, and I think Gilly, he's spoken about this a few times. He has to have that velo if he wants to compete, right? Because he was not competing with his velo down. He just wasn't. He wasn't the same pitcher.
Yeah.
Well, what's up, man?
Answer this at the end of. I'm gonna throw a few points at you as we go along, in case I don't remember them at the end. But one of the questions I want you to review at the end of this is that very topic. If you're talking about guys learning, is it really beneficial for this club to have pitchers like Harrison learning on the fly? Isn't that something you do in your prep, in your minor leagues, in your AAA system? I mean, we're talking about, well, maybe he'll have a breakout. Maybe he won't strike out this much maybe he'll learn his velocity. This is all stuff you should have gotten command to get to the majors, not get to the majors to, maybe I can stick around and get better. But anyway, we'll talk about that later.
Yes, absolutely. Will, what is up? He is in the ICU, guys, but he is doing better. I know we're talking about the other day. He was in the hospital, but he is doing better. Hey, Will, great to see you in the chat. I hope you keep on feeling better, and we'll keep talking, man. Hang in there, buddy. We're praying for you. So awesome. Good to see you in the chat, man.
Somebody snuck him in the iPad or something?
Yeah, I think he's
under the covers. You can see the little light covers.
But there you go. This is Harrison. So there's again, Harrison Bailey likes Harrison, understands though that he had to pitch through some challenges last year. And let's see where he goes. All right, let's see what the next guy is. Let's see the next guy. Hayden Birdsong. The right-hander flirted with 99 in his first spring training outing, showing that kind of stuff should lead them. Showing that kind of stuff that should lead him to one day pace this staff in strikeouts. What the hell? He had 88 of them in 72 innings as a rookie, including 12 in a memorable start at Coors Field and 11 in just 4 1/3 on the final day of the season. Birdsong also walked 43, and that rate will need to come down. Here we go. For his catcher, there's no question about how to find the next level. Bailey said with Birdsong, it's all about how many strikes he can throw. So far this spring, he has been around the zone much more often. That's something we want to see, right? That's what spring training's all about, right? You got to work on your craft to get ready for that season. I think he has got some of the best stuff in the game. Those are some
strong words.
Strong words by Bailey. He's a really, really good competitor. I like that. I like to hear that he's a good competitor. And it's just trust the stuff. You've obviously seen that you're going to get a whiff in the big leagues, and he can get the best hitters in the world to look silly. It's just how many competitive pitches he can throw. Again, what it's and as far as Birdsong is concerned, it's similar in Harrison in the fact that they got to be able to command the zone, right? There you go. There you go, Dallas. What's up, Dallas?
We haven't even gotten to Landen Roupp yet, and all of a sudden Bailey's got me wondering why we need 42-year-old pitchers, Eric.
Well,
why do we need to be going to the bullpen and bringing in a reliever to be a starter this year? Let's keep going. But
let's talk about that afterwards. But again, yes, Dallas. Prediction is Bailey likes everybody. But no, yes, throwing strikes is absolutely it's key, especially in spring training. Now, once the season starts and the season wears on, then you got to see what you're made of. What are you made of? What is up? But
kind words.
Dave, how's it going? So again, it's about command. That's kind of what it is with these young guys. And that's fine, right? I get it. When you're young, yeah, you may have some amazing stuff. And it sounds like from what Bailey is saying, he's got even better stuff than Harrison. Because that's something when Harrison was coming up through the minors, that was something that was talked about with young Harrison. He's got some great stuff. Well, it looks like Birdsong has got some pretty damn good stuff. And look at Bailey coming out, as you said, strong words, some of the best stuff in the game.
Yeah, that's
you just don't throw that around, right? You don't. Now, granted, Bailey also said last year that Keaton Wynn had one of the most filthy changeups he's ever seen. Well, but Keaton Wynn, he's problem with Keaton, he just can't stay on the damn field. That's the problem. He always seems to go down with an injury.
Yeah.
And we can talk about Landen Roupp. All right. Let's get into Landen. Again, Landen Roupp today. Let's get into that real quick. Landen Roupp, I think, what did he throw? Just over three innings, and I think he had 3 or 4 strikeouts, something like that, right? Something like that. But yeah.
He had 3 Ks and 3 1/3.
There you go, 3 1/3. There you go, man. That's all you can ask for. And the kid's doing what you're asking him to do. And again, Glenn, we're going to talk about this later as far as where do we think he should be. All right, in 5 innings. Okay, let's see. This time around, Roupp is pushing for a rotation spot, but it's an uphill climb.
How many starters are we going to have? 8, 9?
This is the issue. We're gonna get into this in part because of how effective he was out of the bullpen last year. He threw just 76 2/3 innings in 2024, and if the Giants committed to him starting, they would at some point have to move him to the bullpen to manage his innings. See, I hate that. The likelier path is that Roupp again begins the season as a reliever and gets stretched out when the Giants need him to start.
You know who I'd like to have on the show, and it's not going to happen, but just as fodder for conversation. Wouldn't it be nice someday if we have a special guest named Nolan Ryan to join us?
Oh, come on, man.
And you read a comment like that, Eric?
Yeah. Yeah. It's different. Yeah, I know.
Well, you got to stretch out the innings. He'd be like, screw that. Throw him 400.
I know.
Jesus.
Oh, speaking of which,
Eric, it's a pussy game these days. The guy pitches 100 innings, and we got to shut him down. Whatever happened to the game, Eric?
Oh, by the way, guys, did anyone see? Hold on, let me hit this. I got to save it. We can play this later. Yeah, I'll save it. There we go. I just gave it a like. Did you see what young Roki Sasaki did today in 3 innings?
Roki.
No,
but I'm going to look it up here.
Yeah.
Roki.
He had it. Go look at his line.
3 innings, and he struck out 5.
Yes, I know, dude.
Gave up a couple of hits and a walk batter.
Gosh, dang it, dude. Whatever.
And he didn't even
Whatever. Roki, yes. What? Yes, senior. Yes. Roki ain't no jokey.
I don't know about that, Eric. I've hung around this chat long enough to know that Eric, he came from another country, came from Japan. It's going to take years for him to acclimatize himself to the game. And oh my God, if you can pitch, you can pitch.
Well, that's the thing. He has the
He's
ability.
got the stuff.
Right. I mean,
He
come
was
on.
great at the World Baseball Classic too.
Yes. And that's the thing, if he came from France and he was throwing 99, well, then guess what? Yeah, the guy's probably going to be doing something as long as he could command it. But we'll get into that later. All right, let's talk about Roupp. I think it's just coming to build off what he was doing last year. He might have finished up better than anybody we had. So it's just continuing to believe that what he did and the success he had is real.
That must be really good because if who was it? Who did we do last? Birdsong. If Birdsong was
Birdsong finished
one of the best in the game at the end of the season. Well, Jesus, it's getting better, Eric.
Yeah, I know.
I'm starting to.
I hear you. His stuff is nasty. His stuff is really good. It's just how many strikes can we get? Again, count leverage. And again, that's what it is with these young guys. Roupp has one of the better curveballs in the game, 44% of the time. But he'll have to be more varied arsenal. Bailey said the changeup, which held the hitters to a 1.11 average in a small sample last year, has been a revelation early in camp. That changeup has been awesome. You know what? I like to hear that, and I'll tell you why. Because when I was over on Marty Lurie's show, guys, Glenn Kuiper said that. He was talking specifically about that changeup, and he says it was nasty. And it's taking Roupp to that next level because he's got to have 3 pitches. If you're a starting pitcher, you've got to have at least, right? At least three pitches. What do we got? Mike Valley's got a question for us. Here, let's real quick. We'll see what he says. Glenn and Eric, Giant Sports Talk Live. You've got to give me your thoughts on the Matos maniacs out there. 24-inch pythons. Yeah, I guess the kid's getting. I guess he's said his prayers and then he took his vitamins. So, yeah, Mike, let's talk about it a little bit later in the show. How about that, buddy? Just hang out. We'll get into it. But again, this changeup, you got to have it. Again, Harrison kind of has to develop a third pitch as well. Same thing with Birdsong, but I think Birdsong already developed the changeup. So again, we're good to go. So
Eric, I think no one could have summed it up any better than Turd Ferguson. Bailey's talking about Harrison, Birdsong, Roupp like they're Maddox.
Oh, come on. Come on. Let's back the truck up a little bit, guys.
Well, look, he's talking so well. The one of the best in the game, and oh my God, Eric, calm down, dude.
He's going by what he sees. That's all. Look, you can take it for what it's worth. Take it for what it's worth, right? Yes, it is. It is. Understandable, but in practice, you got to show something. You can't look if you're trying to hone your craft, if you're throwing it in batters boxes, well then guess what? You freaking suck and you got to work on something. If they are working on quote unquote command and they are commanding their pitches, well, that's good. Now, let's see what happens when we're talking about throughout the season.
And Eric, I think that to examine this article like we are, and even to write this article. To me, Bailey's coming out like a 20-year veteran commanding an entire staff. Don't forget, Bailey's not far removed from a kid himself.
No, I get it.
I'm not putting much stock into what he thinks about the pitching in spring training, Eric.
But he is the Giants catcher, and he is the one that's catching them.
Yeah, he's a pretty good catcher, I hear. Can't hit, but he's a good catcher. Yeah.
So, look, and that's where I'm coming from this. I'm not going to argue the fact whether or not, how good of a catcher he is or not. He's catching the staff, and he has his own ideas on how he thinks these guys are pitching. Okay. And I think the common denominator out of all three of them have good stuff, but they're going to have to make sure they're throwing strikes. They got to make sure they're commanding the zone, because the more strikes you throw, the higher your chances are in getting out of inning without throwing freaking 20 pitches in an inning. Right.
I know, but I'm Mr. Negativity, Eric.
Yeah.
Negativity. Every team in Major League Baseball, they're good pitchers.
Right.
They're good pitchers. They're good pitches. Every team in Major League Baseball's got good hitters. Just wait till we get to opening day. Things will change, Eric. And you talk about, and we're going to get it. There's so many things popping in here. They're talking about Matos, and oh my God, he's built like a brick shed in your backyard, for lack of a better word. Eric, didn't they say the same thing last year at camp? Holy gee, look at all the muscle this guy, and then he couldn't hit. He couldn't stick around. So
I know,
listen,
dude, I know. You got to take it for what it's worth.
Out. It's only March the 4th, Eric.
Hey, Glenn, we have a show to do, and I have to have material to talk about. I can't keep coming on here talking about 42-year-old Verlander. I can't. I gotta have something. I need material, man.
Well, wait a second. Let's go back to the start of your article. And I think the topic of discussion should be, if we've got all of this amazing talent, and what was the title of the article? Bring it up. What was the title track tonight?
Let me find it.
Show the kids at home.
It's the wrong one.
Okay, well, it had something to do with the young pitching staff and how good they were.
It's young starters taking the next step in 2025.
Okay, young starters
taking the next step.
We don't have a young pitching staff, though.
Well,
I mean, they're young starters, but are we going to see them? Like, if this was a lineup of Webb, Harrison, Birdsong, Roupp, Hicks, that's a great article.
Mm-hmm.
Young starters taking the plunge. Well, they don't even have a spot in the roster for these guys.
One spot. And again, here we go. That's the thing is,
Yes, Johnny, I hate to be convinced. You got to win me over, Eric. I don't fall in love in the first date, Eric.
Oh, I get it. No, I 100% understand that. I'm just, I don't know, man.
Unless it's Bernice.
I don't even want to get down. I don't even want to go down that path right now. Not now, because it's just, Aaron, he kind of went where I was going to go with this, because I hate always having to go to that, but I mean, that's kind of what it is, right? I mean,
listen, Cryptic.
Okay, here we go.
Listen, Cryptic. I'll give the Dodgers all three of those pitchers if you give me Roki. He is Eric. Roki has pitched. Roki wasn't a development. He's not coming up in the minors. This is
no. Correct. I give you that. Yes.
So to say that I'm shitting all over the Giants all the time, and that Sasaki, oh my God, he's the greatest. Well, Sasaki is good.
Roki is unproven at the MLB level.
Right. Yes,
but okay, let's talk about this. Roki is unproven at the MLB level, but he has been pitching professionally for quite a long time. He pitched in one of the biggest stages in the WBC, and he did pretty damn good. So yes, he does have some more experience than Roupp and Harrison and Birdsong. So I'll give.
See, I don't like that. I don't like that train of thought, Eric. You could twist that into a narrative. All right, Eric. Adames. Everybody's pretty excited about Adames coming to the Giants, right? So you didn't want me to twist it and say, well, Eric, he's unproven at Oracle Park.
I knew you were going to go there.
Right?
Right.
Or every rookie in Major League Baseball, there are going to be some good rookies, Eric. There's going to be a rookie of the year. Is he going to be like the best of the worst? Because they're all unproven, Eric. They're all unproven. None of them are any good because they're all unproven. That is a false narrative to say that, well, if a guy's unproven, he's no good. Roki Sasaki. Don't listen. That's what separates, Eric, you and I from a lot of other people. We can identify the talent. You and I know what we're talking about, right?
Right.
All right. Thanks for backing me up. So I don't understand that narrative that I'm shitting on the Giants and our pitchers. I'm shitting on a 42-year-old pitcher. Prove it to me that you're going to win. Just prove it to me you're going to pitch more than 90 innings. All right?
Oh, my God, dude.
I need to see it. It's got to play out.
Okay. Speaking of, since we're talking about this. Oh, my.
You say you got a video for us, do you?
Oh, my gosh, dude. I mean, this guy is something. He could be special, right? We don't know yet, but just looking at this, it's pretty.
Hiroku, with all due respect, that makes no sense. Matos won the job, but he got sent down.
Yeah. Yeah, he did. He won the
job. Eric, I paid Eric a lot to be my morning man on the rock station, but Eric, I'm not letting you on the air.
I hear what you're saying. Yeah, he got
you're
sent
telling
down.
me he won the job,
but I know what he's trying to say. You know what he's trying to say, because it does sound bad. He's trying to say it's because the way the organization handled Matos. In other words, he won the job, but they sent him down because the way that they just managed the roster. And I call
bullshit. Eric, let's see if he wins the job this year. Eric, He's nah.
Yeah. Here, let's take a look at young Roki.
Oh, Hiroku.
Look at this.
That was good for a laugh.
That's his splitter. That was his splitter. Another splitter. That's just
dropped
nasty.
off the table,
And then you know
dude.
what he's going to come back with? A freaking 99 mile per hour freaking fastball. There it is.
Yep. The guy just stood there.
You know, and there's the splitter.
Oh, dude.
God, that's so freaking nasty.
What the hell? Was that? Did McRae get traded to the Reds? Was that McRae? He was swinging it, whiffing.
No, anybody's going to swing at that. That
was
that's
terrible.
A nasty pitch, guys. Guys, that's a freaking nasty freaking. That is, yes, filthy. Let's look at that.
That's why I give credit to the Los Angeles Dodgers more often than not, guys. They go out, they know talent, they go out and get them, Eric. They just go out and get the best.
And look, the guys are facing right. They're fighting for a job, but the way he's locating this shit, it's not so much the hitter as much as where he's locating these pitches. I mean, look at this. Look at that. Bottom falls out.
The guy missed it by 2 feet.
I want to see
It's gonna be a long year in the West, Eric.
This is where he freezes him with the 98.
Yep. By about the third game of the year, everybody's going to be watching the Dodgers run away with the division. And speaking of a good pitcher, Roki Sasaki, and good pitching in general, Eric, let's get into something that last night I wasn't here, but heard a lot of chatter today about your show. You had a great, energetic show. You had some guests, and you talked about Corbin Burns. Talk about an organization apparently that didn't go out and know talent when they saw it. Well, they were, as Glenn would say, they were pussyfooting around. Burns. What did I tell you, Eric? I wish we could run back the tape. Do you remember me in December on a show saying to you, Eric, and I'm not going to quote, but pretty damn close. I said, Eric, they're going to drag their feet on this, and some team we not expect come in and just swoop in. And what happened? Apparently, they dragged their feet.
Yeah.
Is that true? That's the chatter I'm hearing.
That's
Apparently, covered it on the show.
That's what that, according to the article, they were just dragging. That's coming from Eric Burns now.
Well,
Eric Burns. Burns.
That's coming from Burns himself.
It's coming straight from the horse's mouth.
So this isn't exactly, just fodder for conversation that, reports and he has come out and said, I just got tired of it. Doesn't that sum up the Giants organization in general, Eric? I mean,
this offseason, again, we talked about it yesterday. It's just the big question is, what is the direction? Because it just seems a little bit weird, but what are you going to do? Hey, Glenn.
Yes, sir.
You saw this on when we were on the Hot Corner, but your boy.
Encarnación, 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 Encarnación.
I want to break into School of Rock for some reason. I don't know. Jack Black.
That is so freaking. That is just so perfect.
So there's another conversation. Have you covered this on our show yet? I'm not fully enveloped into what you had to talk about last night. I watched a little bit of the show on the rerun. Is there a battle heating up for the DH?
Yes, I think there is. I mean, we kind of talked about it yesterday. You got two guys, and we talked to you even on Hot Corner, right?
Mm-hmm.
Will there be a competition between Flores and Encarnacion? Because they both got similar bats. They both have defensive liabilities, right? Encarnacion can run a little bit better, right?
Did you see Wilmer play on the weekend? The guy's a machine out there picking them, Eric. That guy. See that again. I'm not going to say that Wilmer is fleet of foot or the greatest defensive player, but sometimes Giants fans, Eric, and you and I are guilty of it. I will not say we're not. But once a narrative develops, Somebody writes an article and says, Wilmer Flores is the worst defensive player in baseball. All of a sudden, everybody, except me and little Wilmer Flores, are saying, oh, worst player. Or we often see that too. Look at other media creators in the Bay Area, Eric. They throw out a name. Well, he's a local boy. We should be signing him. And then all of America is saying, they should be signing him. He's a local kid. Like, what the hell is it about? Once a narrative is set, everybody jumps on board. You don't have to jump on board. Have a thought of your own.
Yeah.
But I think my thought on the situation is, Eric, while there may be, when you are a team that doesn't win 500 the previous season, there should be every position up for grabs there.
I agree, right? Hey, let's get the best guys we can have out there. There's nothing wrong with healthy competition, right, Glenn? If maybe that's what they told him. Hey, Flores, Encarnacion, you guys are battling it. So let's see, guys, bring it, right? That's what you need to do. All that does.
Yeah.
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
All that does is when you got that competition, you're getting, not only are you going to get the best out of the player, you're doing what's best for the team. Because if they're doing good, then it's going to be good for the team. That's what it's going to be about.
Yeah. But I also have the feeling too, Eric, and I could be wrong, that you're going to see the San Francisco Giants this year, and I hate to use this word, but it's being thrown around already at camp. Melvin is throwing around the word platoon. So I think what you're going to end up seeing is, because of the platoon situation, you're going to see a revolving door in the
I'm having chest pain.
Nope.
Just saying, Eric. If people are going to, one day it could be Flores, Encarnacion, Matos. Let's say they spell Ramos. And you throw Encarnacion in left field for 2 games.
Yeah, why not?
Whatever.
Yeah. Right, there's nothing wrong with that.
Ramos, he can, dude, let him swing the bat 4 times. It's a day off.
Yeah, why not?
I think it could be a revolving door.
Yeah, could be.
In a lot of positions, but especially DH. But I'm wondering, again, let's just see how it unfolds, Eric.
Correct.
But a lot of people are in on the narrative that, oh, you know what? We'll admit Lamont Wade Jr. can't do much of anything, but he gets on base. Well, if he don't get on base, how long is that going to last, Eric? Because I didn't think he was very good last year.
Well, because it's all about availability. That's what it is with Wade. Yeah.
Lamont Wade Jr. on any other team in baseball, Eric, I think is a bottom third of the lineup guy. I think he's bottom third. And here we always got him a first, second in the lineup.
Well, we had a good discussion talking about where young Jung-Hoo Lee should be batting in the lineup. Should he be batting third, or what people are talking about, or should he be leading off? Yeah, it was a fun discussion because, a lot of people are saying maybe have Wade lead off. And I brought up the question, well, if you got Wade leading off, more times than not, he's taking a walk. And now you're starting off the game with him at first base. And how many times is he going to have to go first to third, Glenn? Especially on those legs that he has.
Oh, I was just going to say, you talk about Wilmer's got no speed. What are we talking about here at first base in general, Eric?
Right. That's what I'm
So
trying
why not get a guy on, and he may not have. Listen, we did not get a fair assessment, in my opinion, of Jung-Hoo Lee last year. Maybe Jung-Hoo Lee goes out and steals you 30 bags, Eric. We didn't even see him get going last year.
Yeah, that's true. But
He's not slow. He's not running with a bank safe on his back or anything. The guy, he can move. We've seen him fly. Here's
the thing with Jung-Hoo Lee, he's not going to strike out. He's got I think his strikeout rate's like 14%. So he's putting the ball in play. So he's either going to be starting off maybe with a double, or he's going to be on base. And guess what? I'd rather have him going first to third than Lamont Wade. That was my argument. But anyways,
arguably, I think Lamont Wade is the most expendable player in this team right now. The number one most expendable team.
Canada circle back on the pitching. We are talking about Keaton Wynn and Tristan Beck. We talked a little bit about it last night too, with the panel. I think they're going to start off in Sacramento. There's no room. Remember, these guys were kind of talked about. Hey,
that's what I'm saying about the article
on the rotation. Now they're totally out of the talk of the rotation.
Yeah.
Right now, I mean, cemented is 4 spots. It's Webb, Ray, Verlander, Hicks. Those are your four.
That's why I'm saying that to come in hot tonight with that article and talk about young pitching. Well, we don't have any in our major.
Well, we do. We have young pitchers. I mean, they're young. Problem is, they didn't say young starting. Well, did they say young starting?
They said young starters, Eric. And it kind of defeats the purpose because it's really not a young pitching staff.
Now, next year, I think it's going to be different.
Well, then
Honestly,
just
next year is going to be
back it away and publish that next year.
Well, whatever.
I don't know.
They're trying to find stuff to talk about just as much as freaking we are right now, right? That's kind of what it is. And he's just talking about the guys who may have a leg up. Look, because next year, how many spots are going to be open up next year? Verlander, probably. Again, we don't know about Hicks. Hicks is a question mark. Verlander's probably gone next year. For all intents and purposes, he's probably going to be gone next year. So then you're going to have. They're coming
in hot on me, Eric. What are your honest to goodness thoughts on Lamont Wade Jr.? All-star player, good.
Oh, he's not an all-star. I think
he's average, man. And everybody in their puppy dog coming in tonight saying I'm crazy, I'm high.
If he could play a full season, he'll be good. That's the issue.
Okay, we'll see. I say he's the worst. He's going to be he's a detriment. He's a detriment to the team, Eric.
What is his detriment? What do you think his detriment is?
If he doesn't get, you talk about, he can get on base with a walk. Let's say his walk totals are down this year. What the hell does he bring you, Eric?
Well, I don't think his walk totals. This is who he is. He's
late night. He's calling late night Lamont.
Yes.
Now he's calling late night Lamont because by the 8th inning, he's asleep in the dugout, man.
What is the problem, though? The problem isn't his skill. It's not his approach at the plate. His issue is he cannot play. He gets injured, and when you're injured, you're not contributing. That is the problem. If he has a fully healthy season, he's gonna be a good player. But you can't take away that the guy has spaghetti for legs. He just does.
I think he's Colorado Rocky material.
And it's not because of his skill, though.
And I'm not saying that gives us much depth at first with Wilmer there either. This is a team that didn't go out. They should have got a first baseman, and I'm sick and I'm sorry, but wait till next year. Eldridge is on the way. Wait till next year, dude. I don't know. I don't think any business or an organization should say, let's just suck at first base this year. Throw out what we got. It'll get better next year. Well, then I don't want to buy tickets this year. I'll wait and buy my tickets the next year.
Hey, don't worry. Vlad's going to be at first base next year, right?
Oh, come on. We're not going now. When video?
No, it's not. I had to. There is going to be no Vlad videos next year. Well, first off, you know what? Oh, next year, Glenn, it's going to be tough, but whatever. That's between here and there, but because there's going to be a lockout. There's no
offense at first base, Eric.
Well, Val, let's talk about this. You know why he didn't get a fair shake? Because he's not ready to play first base, Mike. That's just it. That's it. If he was playing first base, suitably, sufficiently enough, I think you'd be seeing him out there playing a lot more. I don't think he's ready. Not yet. Eldridge is not ready yet. He's got to get more seasoning, period. You can't. Okay. You can't, man.
Michi doesn't want to be in here tonight, so he's going to take a break.
Who cares, man? Let them talk if they want.
No, he's not barking. He just called us out and said, I'm out of here. He's out of here.
Who cares?
Yeah,
don't worry about it.
Bring him in another night if you're her or him or whoever it is. Michi.
Don't worry about it.
Michi. Oh, I'm in a mood. You don't have to agree with me, but just don't get too aggressive.
Oh, my gosh. All right, here we go. Can Matos play first base? Rothberg, no.
Glenn, do you really believe Wilmer is going to hit 30 home runs? Or are you being facetious? Well, facetious. Isn't that kind of like mad, rude, the whole facetious? Mm-hmm. I think if he played a full season and didn't get caught up in platoon, I think he can. If the guy can hit 23 home runs in 90 games, Eric, I think he can hit 7 in the second half of the year. What say you?
Yeah,
I think it's possible.
We'll
I'll tell you one thing. We will, at the end of the year, let's examine his all-around hitting. I think he's a doubles freaking machine, Eric.
You think he's a doubles machine? I think Encarnacion could be a doubles machine. I don't
I
think
think
Flores makes.
Wilmer has more doubles than Encarnacion. Bets on.
You think so? No,
absolutely.
No. I go the other way around on that one.
No, Wilmer's a doubles machine.
Wilmer
You obviously don't follow Wilmer Flores quite as closely as I do.
Wilmer may hit more home runs, but he ain't gonna hit more in doubles than Encarnacion. No way. Dallas, JT Snow said back on KMBR today, said Eldridge is going to need a year to learn the position. Well, there you go. Hey, Dallas, we were talking about that last night, my friend. Remember? It's like, hey, he was all hyping him up before he went and worked with Bryce. But then while he was working out and then afterwards, communication blackout. You heard nothing coming from JT Snow. And now he's on KMBR saying he's going to need another year. He's going to need at least a year. And here's the thing. We talked about it, Dallas. If he's not showing shit by June, then he needs to be freaking find a new position ASAP. Yep. You cannot risk, quote unquote, Luciano in Bryce Eldridge. Can't do it.
Flores, great clutch here. See, Robert Rothberg knows what the hell he's talking about. He's one of the most knowledgeable fans we got in the chat, Eric. Tonight.
Oh my God.
Let me, I was just listen. I was just checking in with Wilmer.
Oh,
yeah. Doubles machine. He said, yep. Glenn, you're right as usual. Doubles machine. So expect big things. Son of a bitch.
Oh, man.
Tell me this, Eric. Am I wrong? We seem to get the every time I'm on the show, I take a night off. I come back. It's like I'm stirring up a hornet's nest. Do you not think that we've got I'll call it out. I think we've got the weakest first base in Major League Baseball.
See, but you're talking bad about your boy Flores because that's where he's going to be.
He's going to be in the DH.
Yeah. Well, unless an Encarnacion makes a play. That's what I'm saying. Yeah, we're going to throw out the link here in a little bit, guys.
I think. Oh yeah, that'll be good.
Not now. In a little bit.
I think that the first base. Where's our offense? Listen, I like Wilmer. There's guys obviously in the chat, guys and gals who are big on Lamont.
Come on, Lamont.
That's not Major League. We do not have Major League Baseball quality first base production there. No freaking way, Eric. If you combine them, what did they have last year for RBIs? About 50, if we were lucky. 46. There's no Eric. You can't win when you've got a catcher who can't hit 50 RBIs from your first base position over a full season, and your top players getting hurt. It's everybody else has depth, Eric. Where's our depth?
There is no depth. There is no depth at first base. There isn't. No.
Death by lack of depth.
But hey, it is what it is.
Yeah, Paul. Little Wilmer, he's sleeping over there. He's getting rested up for the big game tomorrow. We'll be watching some Giants baseball. Are they playing tomorrow? Eric? Let me see.
Yeah, they had a day off. Was it a day off yesterday?
Taking on Arizona tomorrow. Didn't Kyle Harrison pitch today?
No, Roupp.
Okay, so it was so Harrison goes tomorrow then against Brandon Pfaadt.
Brandon Pfaadt?
Pfaathead, yeah.
Nice.
So I'll be checking that one out tomorrow.
Let's see what we got in here.
At Salt River Field in Scottsdale. Maybe Eric will be over. Oh, wait a second. Did I get a text? I think Dan's going to the game tomorrow.
He went today. Dan, did you go today?
Is Dan? I thought I saw Dan in the chat. He's not in jail?
No.
I remember the last time he went to a game.
Yeah, it was interesting. Dan, how was that game? Did you go to the game today? I think he said he was going to go, if I'm not mistaken.
Oh, that was epic last time he showed up. I hope he was minding his P's and Q's.
Nice. So you what'd you think? Tell me what you thought. Hey Dan, do you want to come on? If you want to come on, you're more than welcome. I don't know if you're busy or not.
Come on and say hi to my boy. Come on and say hi to my boy.
Tell me what you thought of. I want to hear about Roupp. You saw it with your own eyes. What did you think of Roupp? Were you impressed with Roupp? I want to hear about that.
I keep kicking this, Eric. I was planning to do this later. I'm afraid I'm going to break it, knock it, like, because it's old. I went and got my ears lowered today.
There you go.
I forgot to cut the back off, but that's good. The old mullet come in good. I was waiting to come back, and I had like 5 minutes to kill. So I went into a little mom and pop shop across the street. And many might know I'm big into the music scene, very big on the radio. Got a very extensive vinyl collection. Thousands, and I probably have 20,000 albums, 33s. I added one to the collection. I know I couldn't keep it under my hat. I had to show you in the pregame, but here, I picked this up for my collection today.
Look at that, baby! Woo! That's what I'm talking about.
And I thought of you, the man. I had no reason to buy this other than Eric, fire it up for me tonight. In honor of my new record album, why don't you fire it up for me? Get me all fired up. There it is. There it is.
There we go.
There we go.
What I'm talking about.
Guys, careful, don't get blown away here. Sounds like a new album. There it is, boys. There it is. I thought of you when I saw it, so I just thought it was a great pickup. Okay?
Not quite the same locomotive, but yes, I get what you're saying. That's pretty awesome. All right.
That jumped out. And for $1.49, Eric, good deal.
Can't beat that. Can't beat that.
2 laughs.
Oh, that's right, Paul. I remember you talking about that. You picked it up. But Dan says Roupp was fantastic. 11 hitters, retired 10. Only guy who got on was hit by a pitch on a curveball. Hey, Dan, what pitch was he throwing primarily? Was he throwing his whole repertoire, or was he primarily throwing fastball? Was he primarily throwing curveball? Did you see the changeup?
Dan coming in with music. Hey, they play Grand Funk at the game today. Some kind of wonderful, but that wasn't their classic, Dan. We're an American band. I like that one.
Yeah, I want to know what his repertoire was today. Talking about Roupp. Is he throwing everything, or is he just like, maybe was he facing? It was a mix. Change up. His fastball was coming in at really. Wow.
His fastball was 89.
Wasn't Roupp usually a mid to high 90? Wasn't he like 97?
He better have good stuff, because 89 won't last.
Interesting. And it maybe because of that curveball. I don't know. That's quite interesting. I thought he'd be coming in a little bit more than that. I mean, maybe he's trying to locate, so he's not putting as much behind it. It could be. It could be. That could be what it is. Instead of quote unquote being a thrower, Glenn, maybe he's just out there trying to locate. And I'm fine with that.
Eric, it's practice.
It's practice, exactly.
I'll not get caught up in who's doing what.
You just got to see what the guys are working on. That's the key. Period.
Yeah, especially your young players. They're fighting for a job here, some of them.
It's exactly what they're doing. 100%.
They're trying to bring their best. But, and then you've got guys who are out there, like, I'm sure, Eric, you'll get games where Webb could stink it up. Webb has in preseasons gone by. Arguably one of the worst pitchers in the Giants, because he can work on tweaking things, Eric. The thing about you get a couple of innings, and as we ramp it up now, you'll get 2, 3, 4, maybe 5 before the start of the season, Eric. Pitchers go out there, especially a veteran guy like Webb. He's not going out there worried about whether he gives up 8 hits or 8 runs. It's working on finesse, working on something new, an arm angle, a new pitch, working on the off speed. It doesn't matter, Eric. Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter, Eric.
Would you say that the curveball and changeup threw hitters for a Roupp?
There you go, Abraham, coming in tonight.
Man, I love it.
There you go.
I love it. But yeah, granted, it's practice, and all they're trying to do is get ready for the regular season. Again, I don't put.
Talk about strong words earlier, Eric. How about Dan? This is going to sound crazy, but I see a little bit of Greg Maddux.
Wow. What? Dan? Really? Greg Maddux? Holy shit.
Dan putting his scouting skill on the chopping block.
Dude,
wow.
Yeah, you ain't messing. Dan. Holy shit, dude.
Jesus. Marcus is coming in. Looks like he's fresh off a night at the gym or something.
Yeah,
Look at this guy.
He's ready to go.
Hey, Marcus, haven't seen you for a while.
Hello. Yeah, it's been a while. I went to New York.
How was the East Coast?
Came back. The weather sucks, but it's fun. So,
yeah. What were you doing over there? Work?
Mostly just traveling for fun, but I was, working while I was there. So,
good for you.
Nothing too crazy.
Hey, we also got another guy, brand new guy. I've seen him in the chat. What's up, Mike?
Hey, Eric, how's it going?
It's
Glenn,
going, man.
good to see you. Abraham,
No,
to
that's
meet you.
Marcus.
Greet
That's
you.
Marcus is in. Marcus.
Oh, Marcus. Sorry, I'm on the phone.
Hey, no worries.
Yeah, go ahead. Just wanted to say hello, and
Right
I'll
on.
jump in whenever you guys will have me.
All right.
Okay, I tell you what. I'm gonna get to Marcus first here. Marcus, you're coming in. What do you got to say? We haven't really talked since spring training kind of
Right.
started. Let's see what you got to say.
Wow. Been a minute.
The starting pitching depth looks great. I mean, there's a lot of doom and gloom happening right now in the channel, mostly from Glenn, as usual. But no, that if you watch, I mean, I'm watching all the games because I'm just working from my desk and I get the chance to watch the games.
Fair.
And they look good, man. Like they are pitching really well, and they look crisp. It's not just like it's not just that they're fooling these amateur players that are not going to make the big league roster. They look good. They look good. They look clean. They look healthy. The question is more like, are they going to stay healthy? Are they going to be able to continue to adjust over the course of the season? These are the big questions that we have here.
Right.
And the people are just the people that are still Lamont Wade Jr. doubters. Man, he watches at bats, man. Just watch. He is so smart at the plate.
He is. It's his legs. He has no lower. That's the only issue. I have no issue with this.
Yeah, you're
not at all. It's
Eric,
all
your contentions with Lamont are valid, but Glenn, come on, man. Like, you're saying that he's not a big league quality first baseman. The guy has an 891 OPS in the spring, man. Like, he's getting on base. He's an on base machine.
He's getting on base. He's getting on base in the spring.
Dude, it's this period of time where we're seeing all these big league pitchers coming out and striking out people left and right, putting down batters like it's nobody's business. And Lamont Wade Jr. just has a perfect eye for the strike zone.
Okay, Marcus.
Perfect.
I'm going to interject, and I'm not going to argue with you. There are people who like him. And I said to Eric, I call it depth. Marcus, this is his 7th major league season.
Mm-hmm.
So what?
He's never had more than 56 RBIs, 56, 26, 34.
RBIs.
So are you telling me to be competitive, you can win with a 34 RBI first baseman?
RBIs are a function of like who's hitting in front of you.
In front of you, right.
It doesn't, like, if you could be the best hitter in the world and nobody would be on base in front of you, and you'll not get any RBIs. It doesn't.
So you're saying he's really good, but the rest of the team sucks, so they can't get on base.
No, but like, look at Luis Ariz, for example. He's also a machine at putting the bat to the ball, right? But when you bat him lead off, he's not going to get very many RBIs. It doesn't. So it's not a matter of if your team is good necessarily, or there's a lot of variables here at play where RBIs are sort of out of a player's hands. those aren't the stats that I'm interested in. The stats that I'm interested in, of course, are, your OPS with runners in scoring position, your OPS overall. Like these are other stats that kind of tell me more about like what's going on with the player and how good they are, and where you want them in your lineup. It RBIs is like, it's just a total nonsense stat.
Here's a question I want to ask you. Where would you want him batting in a lineup, Marcus?
Wade?
Yeah.
Definitely leadoff. I mean, look, I understand the holdup where he's not going to be able to swipe bags, but you get a pretty big advantage when a guy is getting on base as much as he is, just getting to first base. He's a tough at bat. He forces a lot of pitches.
True.
He puts a lot of pressure on the pitchers. So it's good to have that guy getting as many at bats as possible, because he's also eating as many pitches as possible, and he's wearing down the pitchers,
and that's valuable.
The time, yeah, he's very valuable in a way that's difficult for people that look at basic stat lines to really comprehend.
Okay, now let me ask you this question. This has absolutely nothing to do with stealing a bag. It just has to do with running the base pads and having some speed.
Sure.
How many, if he's leading off with a single, how many times do you think he's going to have to go first to third? Probably often, right? If you're leading off, right? Do you see where I'm going? That's my issue, right?
The running is definitely a problem, but still, despite that, his production as a leadoff guy is among the top, 15 first basemen in the league. But
his production is just getting on base.
But that's really good. Like, getting on base is really good. How do you score? Like how do you score runs without getting people on base?
That's going to be good when he's doubled up at second. I don't think he's good, but I will completely argue with he's not. Eric, what do you think? I don't think he's a leadoff man.
I don't think he's a leadoff guy. Here's the thing. His bat skills are incredible. He has an eye, right? And he has pop in his bat. So I'm all good. The problem I have with him, and the only issue that I have with Lamont Wade Jr. is his lower half. His legs just give out. I don't know what it is. I don't know if it's a chronic thing, because he's had leg issues. Gosh, I don't know. Every year in a row since 2022, he's had a leg issue.
His hamstrings.
And that's an issue. And that's why I say, okay, utilize him in a different position. And maybe, I know he draws a lot of walks, but he also needs to get some hits. And maybe you want him, if you bat him, and this is the thing, it's hard to get RBIs, again, if that's the set you want to go with, if you're leading off, because that's where he mostly is. You don't really get a lot of RBIs.
Yeah, we don't need him to drive in runs. We need him to just get on base.
Get on base. And that's fine. And here's maybe you just bat him a little bit further in the lineup. That I'm just saying, it sucks, because it's his ability to be able to run the base pads once he gets, because yes, it's important to get on base, but if you can't do any damage because of your legs, well, then it kind of moots the fact that you're getting on base. You see what I'm saying? Because that's what happened last year.
I think it's exaggerated. I think your concern in the binary, like, is it a problem or is it not? I think it's valid. I think it is a problem that he can't run, but I think you're overstating how bad it is that he can't run very fast.
Okay.
Like a lot of, if you map all the possibilities of what that bat can be, how many of them, in what percentage of them does his running speed matter? I think it's not actually that large of percentage.
I think so. All right.
Yeah, we'll see. I just, again, you want him to get as many at bats as possible, because he eats up the most pitches.
He does, and that's
reliably. Like that. These are things that are easily measurable and are true.
Yes.
Whereas, like, the run speed stuff, like, it's pretty difficult to map all the situations. Of course, we in math we use something called the Monte Carlo simulation in order to apply weights to certain outcomes, and I won't get into that. But it's very difficult. It's very difficult to figure out exactly how often it comes up. So part of it's just you have to go by feel, right? That's where the baseball sense comes in.
Yeah. Fair.
And so, like, I think I think your concern is valid. You've watched a lot of baseball.
Mhm.
You see the situations come up. It's a real problem. Totally. But I also think that like the measurable stuff and the stuff we know for sure, he is very good at and he's very valuable at. And I want to see him lead off at least to start the year. And if his legs, it's still early in the season, so he's going to have a little more power in his legs.
Right, he will.
And as the season progresses, the lineup's dynamic. The line doesn't have to be the same 1 through 9 the whole season. If his legs are going out, you can move him down in the order. He's still going to be that tough at bat. But while his legs are healthy, I want to give him, the respect he deserves in the slot that he's best in.
All right, Mike. Let me ask you, what say you about Lamont Wade? Do you like him at the leadoff? Do you not like him at leadoff? What do you like him or don't you like him? And where should he bat in the lineup?
Okay. I'm going to preface this by saying that I'm not going to point out one thing as the best topic, but I've agreed with everything you guys have said about the guy. So starting with that, Lamont Wade and his legs, he did go and learn how to squat 500 pounds this year. So I know his legs are stronger than they've ever been. That's a pretty big club to join. He's also in a contract here.
True. Yes.
But as far as him being an RBI producer or a run scorer, that's the angle Eric and Glenn might be looking at. They're not seeing the RBI production it's not what I'm seeing. The RBI production or the runs. So, first to third on an Adames double doesn't do us anything. And that leaves Jung Hoo or whatnot. But what I want to say is I think Lamont would be great in the later half of the lineup as a guy coming back to the top of the order to be on base for Adames there in the 2-hole, because we know that's where he's going to hit whether we like it or not.
Gotcha.
To hit.
I see what you're saying. So bat him like 8th or 9th, something like that. Kind of like that whole double
definitely.
leadoff guy, something like that. I think that's what they try to say when you bat him 1st and 9th. Yeah.
You know where I think Lamont Wade Jr. will be most valuable? And it'll sound sarcastic.
Go ahead.
I believe his biggest the biggest advantage to having him on the roster now is for all the reasons Marcus spelled out. And I say this with a straight face. He could be a very valuable trade chip at the deadline. He could be that quintessential guy on a winning ball club coming in off the bench. I don't think he's an everyday. His legs don't hold up to be an everyday player. But on a good team, I think he is the epitome of a bench player.
I thought he would have made a really great trade to the Yankees at the deadline. They really needed that guy to get on base ahead of Soto and Judge, and he has decent defensive stuff. I thought he would have made a great addition to the Yankees, and
nice short porch out there. He could thrive at a Yankee stadium.
Absolutely, Glenn. I think this being that contract here for him getting all the run he can early in the season, that's a valuable trade chip with Bryce Eldridge maybe being ready towards the end of the season to make an
here's
appearance.
The thing, to your point, Glenn, because at the trade deadline you're just past halfway. That would be depending where the Giants are, right? This is all predicated on where the Giants are. Then trade him, because you don't know. I mean, I hope the Giants do that this year, right? Marcus and Mike, Glenn, I think you would agree. This year, if they're out of it at the trade deadline, just sell the guys you could sell and try to just get something recoup back. That's all I ask, right? Because I don't want to just hold on to guys hoping and wishing and just come on, let's get some guys in return. Again, predicated on where the Giants are.
Yeah, we have a lot of graduations from our farm system, and we see a lot of these young, unproven guys are looking good. They're showing some promise, and yeah, I mean, I get it. I mean, there's a lot of guys we have too that are young and they're also blocked. They're blocked in various ways, and I would like to see a trade, either to make a run. It's weird because the lockout looming. How much do you want to commit to? How much do you want to commit in salary with the lockout looming?
Yes.
There's a lot of weird things going on in baseball. So I don't know what's going to happen. I don't know what they're going to do. Obviously, I'm not sure exactly where their concerns lie with the lockout, with Eldridge coming up, with Kyle Tucker going into free agency. There's a lot of variables with how we move the pieces around, but we have guys that are looking good or who are blocked and young, like Dave VR. Hasn't looked great, but he's blocked, and this is his last spring to really like.
There's a lot of guys. It's their last spring.
Yeah,
there's a lot of guys.
And if you watch some of the games, the guy we acquired from the Red Sox, Christian Koss, man,
Koss has been having
his glove looked awesome. His glove looks sick.
He's been hitting the ball too.
And yeah, I mean, there's just, and Luciano has been striking out a lot, which sucks, but he's showing a little more presence. Yeah, he's showing a little more presence and making contact with the ball, and Luis Matos is looking good. There's a lot of highlights of spring training, I would say.
It is, and again, it's still early. We're only not even 2 weeks in quite yet, right? I think this coming up weekend is actually 2 weeks, or is it 3? No, maybe no.
We're halfway through, pretty much.
We're halfway through. Yeah, we're. I think there's.
So now this is the first cuts are coming this week, right?
Those red tags from Major League, yeah.
The first cuts, I think, are coming up, right? If I'm not mistaken. So it's going to be interesting to see who gets sit down to the minor. Now, granted, just because you get cut doesn't mean that you're not going to be part of spring training games, because you still got to, especially when it's split roster. Yeah. But so it's going to, again, spring training. You know what? The spring training, it's all about the hope and hey, who's going to be that guy? Everyone wants to root for that underdog and make it. I made that little clip of Encarnacion. It would be great to see him play a huge factor. The Giants, right? The Giants need someone like an Encarnacion to be a threat in the damn lineup. And I mean, come on.
We're talking about trades, Eric. JB just said San Francisco needs to be the biggest overpay for Vlad.
It ain't happening.
But on the heels of what Marcus just said, Marcus used a big word that comes up in this organization quite often: blocked. Why are we gonna? Who wants to overpay for Vlad when we've got a first baseman coming?
Farhan's dying words: blocked.
Yeah. And if you're worried about there'll be people out there who say, "Well, he hasn't proven anything, and is he a proven commodity?" Then trade him now and then go out and get Vladdy. But don't play this game of, well, we'll get Vladdy. We got to overpay to get him, and we're going to block Eldridge, but we really like Eldridge. Again, this goes back to a number of different factors. You can't block players, and you got to be willing and able. And it doesn't seem, from the quotes I'm reading in the paper in the Bay Area or on KMBR visits, Buster Posey just doesn't. He's also very, very shy to pull the trigger on a trade. Don't be afraid to make a deal.
Yeah, I wouldn't be afraid of blocking players. That's not really a concern that I think the Giants should really have. But there is a real concern in retaining a bunch of guys who are like on the cusp of being big league players, because they can do real good on some other rosters. We can get a decent return for them.
Absolutely.
Just because if you're not going to use it, it's not worth very much to you, right? So.
Like guys and I know some of them may factor into our roster, but when you've got in the minors, you've got Meckler, Matos, Schmidt, what's his name there? Number 0,
Wisely.
I was saying Bailey. Wisely, Luciano. And you got all those guys. Sooner. I always call it shit or get off the pot theory, but sooner or later,
something's gonna happen.
Gotta cut bait.
Yeah.
If you don't like the girl, stop. You gotta sooner or later. You don't call her for a date. You gotta move on, man. Like, how many chances do you give some of these players? And then again, talking about blocked, people say, "Oh, Schmidt's the real deal." Well, we don't have room for him, and they put themselves in these positions. Then you got to trade him. Why are you
I
going to
mean-
hold on to him if he's that good when he can garner you an asset?
I mean, there is value to Schmidt as a bench player, as insurance. But we have, it's weird now. We have guys who are pretty healthy historically, who are aiming to play, 162 games in some of the positions that we would play Schmidt in. So, to your point, I think there's a lot of these infield, especially these infield guys, are probably much less valuable now, and are probably we're gonna have to figure out a way to deal them or something. But
All right, Val, we haven't
Yeah,
talked to Mike Val over there for a minute. Oh,
Marcus, go ahead. Go ahead,
I
Glenn.
was just going to ask Mike just to before Eric comes back here. We're about 3 weeks out. The season will be starting. I can't wait.
Right. Yeah, no,
What do you-
I'm looking
What
forward
do you
to it.
project? What are you projecting this year? We were at best a 500 ball club. Are we going to be substantially better, the same, or are we going to digress? What say you, Mike?
Okay, that actually ties right into the last topic, and I wanted to take a step back from that, from looking at the players, because I watch spring training. I just watch. I see how the guys are doing, and that's pretty much it. But I was looking at Bob Melvin's record today, and I was thinking he wasn't a good coach, but I saw he had about 5 or 7 even 90-win seasons along the way. So along the way, he's had some real success, and my dad likes him a lot. So the last couple years have been rough with us, but we've got guys that are kind of, I was hoping would turn the corner last year that might just pull it off this year.
Okay.
So we get a few of those involved. We can be a little bit better than 500.
Okay.
That's what I said. I said they're going to be
Yeah.
better than 5.
I think we're going to be better than 500. Probably not by too much. Just purely not because the team itself got worse. Just it's all relative, and the NL got so much stronger,
They did.
and they
did.
spent. I mean, they
Marcus.
spent a hell of a lot more money. I mean, if you
They
add the
did.
Giants' payroll and the Orioles' payroll combined, I think it's still less than the Dodgers.
Yeah, right.
So
And the funny thing is, hey, in our division, we're fourth.
The
in
the
bench.
Dodgers, the
It's spending.
Dodgers could buy about half of
spending.
Major League Baseball with their salary cap and back money.
Yeah.
They
mean-
literally have.
Yeah, it's
Literally.
Like,
It's really I mean, it's really crazy that the Giants, who are the 5th richest franchise, are the 4th in spending in their
In
division.
the that's ridiculous.
It
Isn't
is
that ridiculous?
Yeah,
That's-
but I said to Eric on the show, and you know what? I think it bleeds truth. If you're the 4th richest team,
Right.
because you got it in the bank and you ain't spending it, and they sure aren't. They spend
That's
it,
not true,
and to be
The
fair, though,
Dodgers,
to be fair, they
Phillies,
do spend money.
Yankees.
I just question how and where they spend it.
all the other teams ahead of us are spending a lot more money than us. A lot.
Yeah.
It's the
Right.
Cubs, the Phillies, the Yankees, the
Yep.
Dodgers, and
Mets.
and the Mets, and they are
Look
all.
what they did with Adamas. They went out and signed Adamas to the richest contract, and it's
not-
almost like then they closed the vault door and go, whoa, whoa, whoa,
the
hold
fact
on,
that-
that's it
mean-
for the year. And you heard the comments from Burns, exactly what I said would happen in December. They were just pussyfooting around. They didn't get back to me. It was
They
in
didn't-
limbo.
they didn't wanna pay.
They didn't seem to care. They didn't want to pay.
They
They-
didn't-
Hey, with Burns, Sackman Asian was part of the draft or operation for Milwaukee the day he was drafted. So I jumped on there, put 2 and 2 together. We needed him specifically to be an innings eater behind Webb, and they just threw him out an offer like, "Hey, you used to work for me. I hired you. There's a little offer," and I don't know. They just didn't go for it,
It wasn't
and kind of
serious.
tried to
That's what it
blame
was.
it on him that we weren't going after other free agents.
I mean,
It's a little off-putting.
Right.
I would say Buster Posey and Zach Manassian, their goal for their own career and legacy is to win as many games of baseball as possible. Agree? Can we agree that that?
No,
would reflect on
I
their-
agree. They are taking the slow, methodical approach towards that
so-
end.
So what is the factor that would make it so that they are not doing that? It has to be the ownership. It has to be the ownership.
Yeah,
Well,
but I got to agree with
spend all the money
Salsa.
he can.
What Salsa says. It's like the Giants are a charity for the bad and the injured. All the money is going to contracts under 3 years for players coming off injuries.
Well, it's not like that no more.
Saying,
It's not
go
like that
and get me
anymore.
good players and stop looking for diamonds in the rough and
that was
dumpster
Farhan.
diving.
That
Get
was
me
Farhan.
good players.
No, Glenn, here's
That
the
was
thing.
Farhan.
Every team, especially the best ones, do that. They just also get the guy. It's you can't just say like, oh, these players are beneath me because they aren't, ready now. No, every team in the league looks for the guys that they scout and they think are going to be worth more than what they're going to pay for them. The difference is that these other teams have the runway and the cash willing to spend by the ownership to sign the big contracts. Let's not act as if like the Giants are 5 players away from being a winning team. They're like 2 or 3 big contracts away from being similar to any of these other extremely successful.
Okay.
So they're going to have to get rid of the 5 that shouldn't even be there.
They don't have to get rid of anything. No, that's the thing that you're missing. Like these players are you can't put all of your eggs in one basket. You need to sign a mix of proven players, some diamonds in the rough, some everyday, some reliable, consistent,
and guys who your
players.
System.
Like,
so what's Jake Lamb? A diamond in the rough, quality player? What is Jake Lamb? What was Mark Canna last?
They're not paying them anything. They're not paying them anything, and they don't.
Oh my God! Not the pay structure again. I don't want cheap. Well, we got him cheap. That's great. He's a good player, and we got him cheap. Go get me good players, and you got to pay for good players.
Glenn, you're going to the state. This is like you going to a nice steakhouse and saying, "I don't want the free bread." No, you take the free bread because it's free. It doesn't matter. You take the free bread because it's free. Jake Lamb is the free bread.
He ain't gonna make the team.
He's not gonna. You might not eat it. You might not eat the free bread, but you're gonna take the free bread because it's free. They give it to you. Jake
but
Lamb
it's always stale for us. It's stale bread. It is stale. It was baked last year.
You can throw it away and
moldy.
Get what you pay for.
Exactly.
It doesn't. You're not paying for anything. He doesn't cost anything to. Like Jake, you should not be complaining about Jake Lamb. Jake Lamb is
if you're advertising, come to my restaurant because I'm giving you free bread. I got to question the quality of the product.
I'll tell you what the problem is with Jake Lamb.
Olive Garden's like one of the most popular restaurants in the world for free bread.
I'll tell you what.
Go to the chat and find out what they think of. Oh, there you go. Jake Lamb is a boom.
Jake Lamb is good. I don't even think Jake Lamb is good.
No, Here's the problem. It was perception. Because you have the San Francisco Giants who went out there and they got Willie Adames. Then you missed on Corbin Burns. Well, they should have gotten Corbin Burns, right? They wind up getting Justin Verlander, and then afterwards you get freaking Jake Lamb as your bat when everybody else wanted something. Right? It's perception more than anything else.
Sure.
It looks bad, especially for an organization as prestigious as the San Francisco Giants.
We can't act as if like these signings. They're $40 million under the CBT.
It's ridiculous.
Let's not.
It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous.
Split hairs.
That's why I'm asking you. Why are we fucking around with the Jake Lambs of the world then?
Because you would do that anyway. That's not the issue. You would sign. Okay, regardless of who else you signed, you'd probably put a flyer out on Jake Lamb because he costs you nothing. He doesn't even take up a roster slot. He doesn't cost anything. The issue is what's missing.
This is pretty good. This is pretty damn good. Come for the steak and stay for the bread. Oh wait, this is the Giants. We're out of steak right now.
The issue is
all we
where's
have
the
is bread. Yeah,
you shouldn't be complaining about the free bread. You should be complaining about where's the steak. That's the problem.
Yes, correct.
You shouldn't It's not about settling on media. The issue is they didn't spend the money on the big free agents. The question should be, why aren't they spending the money, and not why are we getting side dishes that we're not going to eat?
Oh, exactly. That's what I'm saying to you. That is exactly.
Don't even bring up Jake Lamb. Jake Lamb. The words Jake Lamb should never cross your lips. That he's a non-issue. He's not a problem.
Yes, but this is not the Farhan regime anymore. That is why I am shocked we're even talking about this. When are they going to start going out there,
Look,
shaking it up and getting me to, listen, the San Francisco Giants, I want them to win. I want them to win. So after the last few years, it's been dreadful for us, especially when you're sitting in the ballpark and it's not good. But you've got a team here. You got a team here with nice players, the Wisleys and the Schmidts, and you got Fitzgerald, who might be penciled in all the time at second base. And you got Lamont gets on base. We do not have a star-studded lineup. There's too many adequacies. Just adequacies.
I mean, look, nobody.
Am I wrong, Eric? Hop in. I'm not here. You're just sitting back like a moderator here. Do you
that's all I'm
think,
doing.
and what was the word you used earlier, Eric? I said, does this team have enough depth? And you're like, no.
No, there's no depth.
Not enough depth in the starting lineup.
Yes, they have depth in pitching. They just don't have depth in the lineup.
I think the issue, again, is that if we had one or two players anchoring our lineup with, the big star power, we wouldn't be talking about depth. We wouldn't be talking, like we wouldn't be talking about Jake Lamb. Like these aren't issues. It's that there's a void. There's a void where there should be something. There's a $40 million a year void.
Exactly.
Correct.
Exactly.
Absolutely.
And no, we shouldn't be having this conversation.
Can I talk about something that I wanted to talk about a little earlier about Wilmer Flores?
Mike, you are on thin ice right now. I got my okay. Go ahead, but tread lightly.
No. I'm actually in your corner.
Come on in, Mike. Let's hear what you got to say in the show today.
All right, let's roll with it.
All right.
Wilmer, he's a guy that last year played on one leg, and the Giants fans, never mind the fans, the organization didn't see that for a few months, and they let him play on it. They eventually gave him the rest of the year off, and he's come back. He's looking healthy, but before that, Wilmer was the best north-south hitter. I mean, he could read what a pitcher was thinking, and if he was thinking north-south on him, Wilmer was keyed into that. And when he was really rolling is when he was able to read east-west. Talking about in the strike zone, inside, outside, up and down.
Outside. Gotcha.
And it's just amazing to me what he did over the course of 22 and 23.
Yeah, he was good. 23 is fantastic, man.
And I'm happy to see him on the roster.
Mike, his numbers were great. He had huge numbers and didn't play 100 games. Fair to say?
Yeah, no, it's fair to say. That was my bit tonight.
When you get a guy who plays 100 games, but he hits 23 home runs, and then people are in the chat saying, well, you don't think he could hit 30. Well, if he played 162 games, geez, he'd have 70 games to get 7 home runs.
Okay, let's talk about this. Can Wilmer play, let's say, 150 games?
If they want his bat in there, like I said earlier, and Marcus, we'll get your thoughts on this. Marcus, you haven't talking about the lineup. We were talking earlier about Encarnacion and Wilmer battling it out, perhaps for DH. I think you're going to see platooning all over the place, and especially DH will be affected.
You're not going to platoon.
Here we go. Real quick. First off, Flores, I don't know if his legs will last 150. That's all I'm just saying. Maybe that's the reason why he only played 100. Look, and we could all agree.
He played 126.
Right. Okay. See, that's good. I got no issues with that. When did he play 126? Is that in 23?
2020, yeah, in 23.
Wilmer's always been on this organization. Wilmer's always been the victim, not his legs. He's been a victim of platooning. Platooning is why he's not in there every day. Yes. And last year, over in San Diego at the game I was at, the Sunday afternoon game, boom, right into the dugout. His season was pretty much over.
Yes.
Before it got going. And he played hurt and eventually had to shut it down.
And that's
maybe even a little playing out of position for Wilmer too.
God!
Second base was not
at the end of the day. Yes, at the end
on him.
At the end of the day, what hasn't Wilmer done for this organization, Eric? He's played third, second, first, DH, comes to the ballpark, blue collar, produces. What more do you want? But everyone wants to shit on Wilmer.
No, I understand, but here's the problem. is now you got Encarnacion in the mix. That's gonna
That
be
guy-
the issue right there. Because that guy is gonna he's younger. He's younger, and of course, and then here we go. You're gonna love this. He's cheaper than Flores. Hey,
Am I angry? You bet the fuck I'm angry.
But that's the issue. And I don't know, is there going, because the problem is both of them are similar bat, right? They both hit the ball pretty damn hard. Encarnacion, we talked about this on the top. He's got a little bit better legs. So it's going to be interesting. Is there a competition between those two, or is Wilmer penciled in? I don't know.
I don't think anyone in the Giants organization is expecting Lamont Wade to play 162 games.
No way.
I don't think anyone in the world is, including himself. And I think that there is going to be room, as much as Glenn hates it, you're gonna have to play them both.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, that's exactly what's going to happen. And one of the reasons why they will continue to platoon is because they have a left-handed bat and a right-handed bat. And they Giants seem to think you mix them all together and sprinkle in some fairy dust, and you're going to have this great first base situation, and you're not.
And that's why Wisely is going to get the play. That's why he's going to get the bigger look than Casey Schmidt. Even if Casey Schmidt's better, I think Wisely gets the stronger look because he's going to be able to bat from that left side.
There's 6
Wisely's
players.
like a teacher with seniority over Schmidt.
Yeah.
Sorry. I don't mean to cut you off, Marcus.
No, it's fine. It happens a lot.
No, go ahead.
There's
Go
6
ahead.
players.
I'll leave it to you.
There's 6 players on a roster that are going to be there pretty consistently.
Mm-hmm.
The DH, the right field, and the first base are kind of the spots where we have some question marks on who's going to start.
Right. Correct.
And it makes sense if we're not going to have a dedicated DH for the first base and the DH to kind of flop around a bit. Now, would I love to lock down right field and keep Yaz as a defensive replacement? Yeah. But I think we're a little off that.
I got something to say about that, Marcus, and you tell me.
Encarnacion played pretty good in right field. You got to admit.
I'm gonna get a little weird here.
Play left field, right field. He was all over the place.
They're going to shuffle him around because his bat's powerful, and slotting him into the roster is going to be an important part of squeezing the water from the stone. Getting as much as you can.
I got 2 things here.
Biblical on us. All right.
How do you think they will try to do the roster? We're halfway through spring. Do you think they carry an extra bullpen arm, or do you think they go with the 5-man bench?
This is where it's interesting. Can you believe we're a few weeks out from heading back to the Bay Area and getting ready for the start of the season? The Giants will be, of course, going to Cincinnati for the opener there, opening day. But as usual, here it is, a few weeks out. We're not even talking about. All right, let's examine the lineup. Who knows, Eric? You don't know.
No. This is not the lineup. This is just roster spots. Do you want to have that? Do you want to have a 5-man bench, or do you want to have an 8-man bullpen?
I think the bullpen's going to be expanded. I think
you think it's going to be a 4-man bench and an 8-man bullpen,
especially because of how awesome Landen Roupp has been looking.
Right. And now here's the question. God, this leads me to another question before. Okay, now I got 3 questions. Concerned about Eric Miller having numbness in his fingers. It's not good. He may not be. He's our only lefty, and he hasn't even thrown one pitch. And I don't even know if there's even a timeline. Are you concerned?
Am I concerned? Yeah, I mean, I'm always concerned.
They traded Taylor Rogers for nothing.
Well, okay, Taylor. Here's the thing about Taylor Rogers and his left-handedness. It's not.
Wasn't high leverage.
He was not a high leverage pitcher. Got it. So it didn't. His handedness doesn't matter. His handedness is basically completely irrelevant because you can't put him in those high leverage situations against lefties.
But still, now both of your lefties aren't going to be high leverage guys. You got to have one that's at least, hey, he comes in sometime.
I think the theory is sort of that. I think the theory that's happening is that, well, you only need one high leverage, if you only need one higher leverage lefty, your middle relief, your long and middle relief guys, they can throw right or left.
Okay.
So as long as you have that high leverage left-hander, the rest kind of doesn't matter. And I think that your closer, there's very few left-handed closers in the history of baseball,
Correct.
right?
Right.
And that's just natural, but according to how humans are born, there's more right-handers than left-handers, and
right.
but yeah, I mean, I think it's fine. I think it's fine to have the strategy of keeping one high leverage lefty in your bullpen. Now, am I concerned that he has finger numbness? Of course.
I mean, concerning. That's what Tristan Beck had last year. Remember, he had that numbness in his fingers.
Yeah, he's an important part of our strategy.
Yes.
So when anyone's, anyone who's important to our strategy is, down for the count, that's obviously not a good sign.
Right. And now here's my last question. Gonna get a little weird here. Now, first off, I'm gonna tell you right now, it ain't gonna happen. And you'll know what I mean by when I say it ain't gonna happen. All right. Bryce Eldridge, we talked a little bit about this. Sounds like he's having some difficulty at first base. Right. As a matter of fact, let me back up a little bit. I was on with Marty Lurie last week. Last week, something like that. Last week. And Glenn Kuiper was on there. And I was talking to him about that. And he was saying one thing about Bryce Eldridge is and I talked about this on the show yesterday. He never played basketball. He never played soccer, never played football. So he doesn't have footwork. He doesn't have his feet about him. He doesn't have a foundation with his footwork. He was a pitcher and a hitter for the most part, right? When he was in high school. So again, he's kind of already behind the curve, so to speak, in being able to, because when you're playing first base, you're playing any infield, right? You got to have the footwork. So he's already at a disadvantage there. If he doesn't make it at first base, they got to make that. They got to make that decision, right? He's the only other position he could play. Well, there's only two other positions he could play: outfield or DH. And I don't know. Do you want a young guy as a DH, or do you want him in the outfield? Do you put him in left field, put Ramos in right?
Oh,
I mean,
God.
yeah, it's a little bit weird. But the reason why I say that is, well, there's a certain first baseman. I'm not going to even, you know what I'm talking about. There's a certain first baseman. Giants are going to have a lot more money next year. I get it. This is facts. There's no wishing. I don't think it's going to happen, but the facts are the Giants are going to have more money next year than they had last year. Do you move Eldridge to the outfield and then you try to get your first baseman next year? What do you think?
Let me jump in on this because I was talking about it earlier and about both players actually quite a bit lately. With our guy with the initial V, I think losing out on Burns loses out on him because I think he wants to go to a winner. But then I see he wants that $600-700 million contract, and the Giants made in 22 and 23 about $200 million a year off of us. Last year they claimed broken even, but they did trade some contracts that they were talking about having lost money off of. I'm not going to question them. So say they made $400 million off us over the last 3 years, and they're not spending this year, 14th in the league, fifth largest market. The possibility he'd come here for the highest dollar, Eric, what you're saying is definite. It's definite.
Yeah.
Right? Because at the end of the day, that appears to be the motive. Toronto offered him a joke of a contract.
Yeah, as soon as that happened, you kind of saw the writing on the wall, right?
Exactly. But with Bryce, it's okay if he doesn't know how to play DH or first base yet. And I've seen him get some reps on video, for what that's worth at one spring training practice, getting balls in the dirt. And it didn't look too like you were saying, fundamentally sound. Like a basketball player knows the triple threat position. He doesn't have that about him, and he's not like swiping the ball up off the ground. He's like just getting it handed to him, so to speak. But I don't have a problem with having both because the Giants may not know this, but there's a DH in baseball nowadays, and you need both positions. And they are the fifth largest market, so yeah, no worries, no
The one
hurries.
thing I stepped away, but the one thing I will say that's of any advantage, if you want to go down that road, Vladdy, signing Vladdy, I don't like the concept of bringing him in. Kind of sells Eldridge short. But the one blessing, isn't it? The one's a left-handed bat, one's a right-handed bat.
Absolutely, and Vladdy was a Golden Glover.
I like that.
Yeah, having
I think Vlad's going to have a
on
hell of
both
a year
sides
this year.
of the plate. I think so
Sorry,
too.
up for Golden Glove.
He's going into his, the contract that will define
You know
his
what
role.
happens. Mm-hmm.
So,
hey, Marcus, are you in our fantasy league?
I am. Yeah, I've been complaining actually.
Apparently, I haven't started on him yet. But apparently the commissioner sent out another. I've got more messages from the commissioner. We haven't even broke camp yet. He changed the rules again today.
I told Eric that we need to talk about how the point system works for the pitchers.
I just thought the 3 points for a save wasn't enough. When you're losing, you blow a save, you get -3. Not just you don't get any points. You lose 3. I don't know. I you know what? At the end of the day, it's more of a crapshoot. I think it's going to take a lot of your skill of picking a team out of this equation. You just draft your team, and I can't keep track. How many stats are there? Literally, there's about 28 stats we got to keep track of.
Yeah, I think one of the big problems with how the fantasy league works is that there's a lot of stats that sort of don't matter, or like double counting, or it's weird. There's a lot of weirdness right now with the points.
Like quality starts. I didn't think that was necessary.
I agree. I don't think quality starts is necessary.
Does anybody throw those anymore?
Also, I think wins and
6
losses
innings?
are really
well, some of them we don't have to worry about. How many complete games and complete game shutouts are we going to see?
Yeah, it's cool. It's cool. It's cool to have the little bonuses, but yeah, those also don't really matter. I think the big things that matter to me are innings pitched, and then hits, walks, runs. The whole I think holds, saves, blowouts. I'm sorry, blown saves. Those do matter. But ultimately, it's like, give me the innings pitched, give me the hits, give me the earned runs. Like, those are the things that tell me how valuable the pitcher was and how it's reflected in fantasy. So,
Glenn, Marcus, can I interject?
Go.
I was just going to ask Marcus, where are you drafting in the order?
I don't remember actually.
I thought you were down a bit. I'm 5th.
I'm not very high, but I just started making my spreadsheets. So
you should have been with us on the weekend. We actually logged in live on Yahoo, and we did a
mock draft,
an impromptu mock draft.
Yeah, if you could tell, I don't know if the Yahoo Fantasy web app is really horrible, where it doesn't actually show me where I'm drafting. I don't think. So
Eric will be able to tell you in a minute.
I can check.
Mike, you had a comment? You had a thought?
Yeah. I haven't played the fantasy sports in 10 years, but the last few times I did, our league had one rule that helped me win all 3 times. And I'd like to see that rule taken out of your league if it's in it. It's just for fairness sake. And that's unlimited moves a week, because you can pick up. You could draft an entire lineup and not have any starting pitchers, and essentially win the league in
Not going to be a
Yahoo.
problem in this league, Mike. Eric has us drafting 36 players. We're going to be here for 7 hours.
7
Literally
hours.
at a minute. And Eric keeps saying to me that, guys are going to do their picks in 15 seconds or 30 seconds. But if everybody takes a minute, we're here for
Now
7
that nullifies it.
hours.
Well, there's also
That definitely nullifies it.
a maximum number of innings pitched allowed. And a maximum.
Yeah,
number
last
of
year
moves.
was a shit show.
There's also a maximum number of moves that you can make.
Eric and I were at the bottom of the basement last year. We were bad. We were terrible. I hold the distinction. I traded away Shohei Ohtani. Had to.
Yeah, I don't know. I wasn't.
If you had seen the way, see, every league is different. The one we were in last year was one of those. I don't even know how you call it. So let's say home runs. At the end of the year, whoever has the most home runs gets 12 points. And if your last home run, you get 1 point.
That's really horrible.
So what happened was by July, I was so far up in 2 categories, nobody could catch me. But the rest, I had saves, 1 point.
Yeah.
Strikeouts, 1 point. So I ended stolen bases. I had none. 1 point. You had to have balance. So I had to trade away. I traded away Shohei, not to make excuses, but I traded away Shohei.
The steals
In like a 4-player deal. I got one of the guys I got L.A. De La Cruz. And instantly, boom. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I started picking up points, but we were so far out. And Eric was in the same boat. He and I were in the basement. And props to Dan, who's in the chat. Dan was in our league. In fact, I guess you could call it his league. And he went from last place to he won the league. He traded his way to first place. He made how many? Dan, just chime in the chat because I lost track. How many trades did you make last year? I'm going to 14.
I think we should. One of the rules.
Hey, Dan, did you want to get on the show? I heard you say earlier you wanted to join the show tonight. I'll gladly jump off if you want to jump on, just for your sake.
Oh, you can hang out here. No worries.
I think one of the things that I would like to see as well is having a trade vetoing. If there's too much collusion, it also makes it really weird, right? Really imbalanced trades that just get to go through.
Well, I think Eric gets to. I don't think that'd be a problem.
Okay.
Eric and I will decide on if we're not involved in obviously the trades. But you can voice your disconcern and your concern about it, your discontent. But it's all about having fun, though. Makes getting through a season. Everybody talked about it. Something you could tell the real fans. Some of them by August were like, "I'm not even want to play anymore." Well, I looked forward every day to looking who was playing, getting my roster in. Let the chips fall where they may. But it becomes part of your day. Get up, brush your teeth, put on your socks, put in your batting order for the day. I loved it. Some guys like fantasy football because they can do it on a Friday night, 10 minutes. They got that's their whole week. I like the fact we get to play every day. It's kind of like the show. Some people get sick of it, but we get to do this every day. Marcus, are you going to opening day by chance?
I don't have tickets right now, but I was going to play it by ear.
Yeah, I was hoping you were. We're going to be doing a show from over at the ballpark, and
okay.
I know Mike O will be there. I don't know. I don't know. When I first started doing this show, and in fact, I became a fan originally of NorCal. I thought, all right, just my mind's eye, right? I thought, all right, it's a Giants channel. Everybody's from the Bay Area. I'm going to make friends. This is going to be a cool thing to get involved with. And then I come to find out I'm the only guy living in the vicinity of the ballpark. And we got people in the chat here from New York and a lot from Arizona. I just thought everybody was from the Bay. So I was hoping you would be there because Mike is going to go there. Mike says he's going to come on the show outside the ballpark with us. Fingers are crossed we get our connection.
Yeah, I'll see. My schedule's been really weird with work and travel and stuff. And but I'll try to make it to as many games as I can this year. So
Talking about making
I'd
games,
be
huh?
happy to meet you guys opening day.
Are you
Brandon,
coming,
Mike.
Mike?
I'm a San Francisco native, baby. So
Yeah.
I
Well, there
just
you
got
go.
a new car.
Where you
You
at?
know,
Where you at,
I
Mike?
know where
Where
the
you at?
prime time parking is down there.
Yeah, where are you too, Mike? Where you at? Where about in the Bay?
Oh, San Francisco, born and raised.
Yeah, but where do you live?
I'm over by Fort Funston, Lake Merced, for CDO golf course right now. But
Oh, okay.
moving over to Golden Gate Park area.
Oh, nice.
Better deal.
Nice.
I'm
Better
lucky.
deal.
I get to walk a block to the game on game day. I'm so, you know what? At the end of the day, Eric, man, I am blessed. Look at how lucky I am. No parking. I can leave at 7:30 for a 7:35 game and already be over there and get my dog and
my
my
work
Pepsi.
is my office is right by the Caltrain station, so I just hop on the
Wait a
Caltrain.
second. Where's your office at? Where about are you? You're near the Caltrain station, like the
Are
main
you on
station.
King?
No, my office is near the Millbrae BART station.
Oh, Millbrae.
Yeah, for my work.
Oh, man, I take that stop. I go over to one of our sponsors. Lefties is up the hill. You can walk up to Lefties from in Burlingame. So I get off at the Millbrae stop. Yeah, that's cool. I know exactly the area you're in. It's getting busy over there, isn't it? Though.
Yeah, it's
Geez, I crossed that
Yeah.
intersection. I'm fighting for my life over there.
yeah, it's not an area made for people to walk in. That's for sure.
No, and all kinds of more apartments. Every time I drive over there, literally, there's a new apartment complex, Eric. It's you can't see around you. It's just
And they all
building.
look the same. They all look
They
the same.
do.
It's like
They're building them, and they look like hotels.
they
Right.
do, Yeah,
They're big hotels.
I hate them, but it is what it is.
Yeah. So they get more people living there, but around that area, similar to the ballpark, I see all the business. Last time I was over there, Walgreens had shut down. I used to get my newspaper there. A lot of businesses just going under. Anyway, what do you want to chime in with, Eric? Did a
Thinking.
gaming conversation. Oh, Marcus. Marcus.
I'm here.
Marcus and I were debating. I said the commissioner apparently came up in the chat. The commissioner sent out another email today.
Yeah, I did. Yeah,
Marcus and I have a beef with your statistical analysis. I mean, Marcus has a beef with your statistical analysis here for the year.
It's just points, man. It's just
Throw him
points.
under the bus.
But I got rid of 2 on each. I was like, you know what? Let's go down to 13 instead of 15. I don't want to get too weird where we're talking about getting points for hits and outs. So I was like, let's make it a little bit simpler as far as pitching. And then I also got rid of walks and hit by pitches and grand slams. So I got rid of those 2. So make it a little bit easier.
Did you get rid of those again? Because I'm looking.
Yeah, I got rid of them.
I just looked and I saw hit by pitches, but
It should be gone. For hitting, pretty sure that one's gone. Hold on.
oh, for hitting.
Yeah.
I
The
thought
hit
you
by
meant
pitches
for
for pitching.
pitching.
No, for pitching, no, it's still in there. If a pitcher is hitting a batter, come on, you're gonna have to lose something there. But I think I might tweak some of the numbers.
Yeah, Anthony, last time I was over there, CVS is next door and the dry cleaners, and you get the coffee shop. But across the street, there was a Walgreens. It's gone. And the sandwich shop, it's gone. Everything's just falling apart over there.
I've been to Little Luca's many, many times over the course of my life. Anthony, it's a nice spot. I can't eat it too much though. It's sandwiches are huge.
Whereabouts is that one? Near work? I'm not familiar with
Little
that.
Luca's. How far is it from my office? I usually just ordered for delivery.
Nice.
But it's on El Camino.
El Camino.
Well,
Well, El Camino's a lot. Yeah, now that narrows it down for me.
There's
Camino Drive.
there's 2 of them now. Actually, there's one in Burlingame, and then the one that I normally go to growing up was in South San Francisco.
Mm-hmm. I like going over to Daly City a lot. I like. Hey, it's right up your alley. I like going. My favorite place to eat is the Outback Steakhouse.
Outback Steakhouse, right by
go for the free bread after a trip to Target.
Outback Steakhouse. That's right by Koi Palace and Total Wine. Yep.
It's the only place I have ever And I don't know, are they just dying across the country? But Eric, every time I go to Daly City, all I think of is Seinfeld because they have a Sizzlers. They do.
Oh yeah, dude, the Sizzlers is still popular actually.
I've never been to Sizzlers, and it's the only one I have ever seen in all my travels around hockey. Like I've been to almost every American city, every Canadian city. It's the only I went, holy shit, they mentioned Sizzlers in an episode of Seinfeld. She goes, you never heard of Sizzlers? I'm like, it's the first one I've ever seen. And they've got the Mexican place there too. You can do takeout next to Sizzlers, right next to the building. The same parking lot. They have a Mexican.
I don't remember that one.
It's really good.
I
like that area. I really like that area.
I live in the Mission,
Nice drive
so
up there.
I get my Mexican food from the Mission.
It's sort of like here in Winnipeg. I have everything I want. You name a business, like whether it's I've got a Best Buy that's on the same block next to me. I've got the liquor store. I got the grocery store. I got the movie theater. I got a shopping mall with 250 stores. I got everything within. And my daughter goes to school about 4 blocks from here. You don't have to leave if you don't want to. Really, you want to do takeout. You want to get her to go over to the grocery store. Same with the Bay Area, where I live. I live next to the Caltrain station. But the main stop, the San Francisco stop.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm only a block from the ballpark.
I see people. You ever go to Original Joe's? Anyone ever go to Original Joe's?
Yeah.
I've been to Original Joe's many times.
I won the contest last year. Never even went.
What was the contest?
Never even went. Where you had to guess the score for Marty Lurie.
Oh, and
you guess the score.
You won. You won.
Yeah, I won. I got a free dinner for 2 for Original Joe's, and never went.
Did it expire? Did it expire?
I have no idea. Honestly, I have no idea. I have no idea.
You should go.
I heard it's pretty damn good.
Have a nice dinner. I mean, it's a classic. It's a classic like Italian joint,
right?
Not it's like Italian American joint where they serve you huge portions of food and you get the free bread and they have all sorts of pastas and meat. It's a good time. It reminds you of a time gone by.
Nice.
Nice. It's a real. It's
comfy.
Yeah.
Comfort. Yeah.
It's comfort, but it's like an upscale-ish comfort.
Oh, is it? Okay, gotcha.
Yeah, that's our routine. We always go to Daly City. She knows I like the Outback. It's getting so expensive though. You can't do it all as much as we used to. We used to go all the time. You drop it $120. $120. I'm like, oh Jesus.
At that price, I'd rather just get a nice, like a nicer steak.
We do In-N-Out burgers.
I live down the block from Original Joe's. Right on the John Daly Boulevard there, right off of it.
Oh, yeah.
Such a good center cut sirloin. Oh, perfection.
Look at that. Freaking get me all freaking hungry.
Well, there's that is one epic thing about the Bay Area, Marcus, is no matter where you go, within about a 50 mile over towards San Jose, the Bay, over in Oakland, if you ate out every night, you couldn't eat everywhere in your lifetime. There are so many choices. And we mixed it up too. The last time we went out to eat, Bernice is just messaging me. You'll know the name of the place. I said, where did we eat out last time? We went to that pasta place. I need a little more info. Anyway, it was beautiful. But there's so much to choose from.
Someone brought up, Mark Washington brought up House of Prime Rib, and I brought up House of Prime Rib, one of my earliest appearances on the show.
Yeah, I remember you talking about the House of Prime Rib. Yeah, do you remember?
We love going there, but now you've got to make an appointment like 3 months in advance.
Yep. You can walk in. You can walk in if it's just 1 or 2 of you. You can get a seat at the bar, and they'll serve you the full menu.
Some nights you go in. Oh, that'll be an hour and 40-minute wait. I'm like, I can go eat somewhere. Or you know what? I know it sounds it's not upscale.
You love Tommy's joint.
That's my favorite place to eat in the Bay Area, isn't it? It's like Christmas freaking dinner any day of the year. You go in, the meatballs are the size of a softball. It's like Christmas dinner, Eric. You want turkey and mashed potatoes? I'm like, Jesus, this is great. Have a draft and you're good to go.
That place is dirty, but it's good. It's classic.
Dad, do you remember taking me to Tommy's joint when I was a kid? Okay, he does. Great place to eat. Like the buffet line. Oh man,
happy hour margaritas
The good old days. The good old days.
It's the only place left in the Bay Area that I can confidently say has the $5 or $6 happy hour margarita. It's a dangerous game.
Dangerous game, huh?
But
Lefty
there's a lot of
O'Doul's.
those places. A lot
Lefty
of
O-
places to eat.
Lefty O'Doul's is a great place too.
Lefty O'Doul's? That's gone.
Well, it was. Yeah, I mean, was
The one over on Post Street. Is that what you're talking about?
Yeah, my you know,
Oh, great bar.
my neighbor would have been about
Oh.
your age, Glenn. He gave me a signed bat from Lefty O'Doul when I was a kid.
Nice.
Such a cool memory. Still have it.
I used to go over to Lefty's, and you know what was right next to Lefty's on Post Street there? A Giants store.
What? Oh, I didn't know that.
They had a gift
The
shop.
dugout?
A Giants gift shop.
The Giants dugout.
The name of the place was the last time we ate out, we went to San Bruno, a place called Jack's. Do you know that place, Marcus?
I don't really go to San Bruno very often.
No. I went over to the print shop. I had to go to the print shop in San Bruno.
There's a lot of really.
I had to get Eric his business cards.
Gonna have to start passing those out. I still got a shit ton of them.
Oh, really? I sell something on eBay. I tuck one in there with it. I give them out everywhere, man.
Nice.
Yeah. Anyway, I want to get out of here. See what we can. 2 hours, and I got to get over to the radio side of things. I'm working again all night tonight on Oldies 96.
Marcus, man, hey, hang out in the green room. We'll talk about these points, right? We'll get it. We'll just hang out. We'll finish it off, and then we'll bring it back. Mike,
I'm not sure how to do that.
What's Tanforan?
Tanforan, the ball.
Yeah, I said Jack's in San Bruno, right across from Tanforan.
Yeah, it's the Tanforan Mall. It's
is that where the big bookstore is in the front?
The Barnes and Noble.
Yeah. Eric, I don't know how they stay in business. There was about 40 people in that store the last time we went in there. I think there were 3 of us actually paid for what we took.
Fair enough.
Unfreaking believable. It's one of the few places I've got in. I'm like, they're stealing from you right now in aisles 3, 7, 9, 11, 14, 21, 26, and 42. And maybe number 1. I'm not sure. When I came in, there was something shady going on. Dude, the shoplifting is crazy in the Bay Area.
I bet.
It is out of control. Bernice and I got pepper sprayed over at the Safeway after a Giants game last year. Guy was stealing in the Safeway foyer right in front of the Caltrain station. So security, I kind of bumped the guy. Security ran over. They sprayed, and it was, dude, that stuff is thick.
It is.
Bugs on a bumper.
It's oil and cayenne pepper, man. That's what it is.
Very peppery smell. Yeah. Yeah, the mace. Ugh.
No, senior.
Anyway. Yeah, you guys can talk off air. Hey, thanks for coming in, Mike.
Yeah, absolutely, Mike. Appreciate it, buddy.
My pleasure. Have a nice evening, gents.
Go Giants.
If I leave,
if
I click leave video, am I going to go to the green room, or is that?
Yeah, we'll kick you to the green room, and you just hang out there.
Cool. Yeah, just kick me whenever you're.
All right, right on.
Yeah, I like Mike coming in with the hot takes on Wilmer there. I like Mike.
There you go. There you go.
The old cereal commercial. If I could be Mikey, he really likes him. Remember that? That Michael Jordan?
Yeah.
How's your cereal? Mikey really likes it. What are we doing for topics this week, dude? It's kind of a free-for-all every night now. It's kind of we talk pitching off the top, but that quickly spiraled into an open forum.
Yeah, that's what we do. Don't know.
Like that for a while.
Honestly, don't know. I just think about it during the day, and then if I come up with something, I throw it out there, man.
We still got our 90, what we got in there now, 97 or so. We got 100 people in here. That's what I was hoping for. So
it's all good.
Appreciate everybody's donation of time to the show. You got a lot of choices out there, things to do, places to go, and we appreciate you coming and spending some time with us nightly, right?
Absolutely, guys. Appreciate it. Guys, we'll see you tomorrow night.
Thanks for our guest. Marcus is in the green room. Don't forget him.
Yeah, I'll be talking to him afterwards. Going to talk about some of the scoring in our fantasy baseball. See what we come up with. So, hey, I'm open to hearing whatever you guys have. So it should be. I wanted to make it good and fun.
Well, that makes a quality commissioner.
Well, thanks, appreciate it. All right, guys. What's going to be the topic tomorrow? I have no idea. Just stay tuned. You never know. Some news may break, and we'll be in here to talk about it. Otherwise, hey. We'll think of something.
Lately, I've been watching the ticker, hoping, hey, maybe Eric and I can do a 3:00 show, or 2:00 show, or 1 p.m. show, but it just isn't happening.
No,
so geez, it'd be nice to go on to a show in the middle of the afternoon, a little update.
Exactly.
Pretty bland. It's been a bland off season, in my humble opinion, Eric. I think this has been
It started off with a bang, and then it kind of just faded away.
Correct me if I'm wrong. Have we only done this off season 2 impromptu shows? Adamas. And we did one. Maybe that's the only one.
That's
and
it.
Farhan.
That was it.
Yeah. And then we did the Saturday show a few weeks ago. So
Yeah,
that was what I was
really
thinking. Really, it was only one. We had one thing to go live with out of that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know.
Jeez, don't look so sour. All right, guys. See you tomorrow night at 8:00. What we'll talk about? We'll, I guess, open the tickle trunk and see what we find.
Yeah. All right, guys. Hey, be good out there, and we'll see you guys tomorrow night. Woo!
You've been watching Giant Sports Talk Live with Eric and Glenn, a Northern Lights Entertainment Broadcasting production.